Good afternoon, class. This is Dr. Mike, your instructor for IT 140, Intro to Python Programming. And today I'm going to talk about Lab 1.24, calories burned during a workout. But specifically, I want to dig a bit into PyCharm here and talk about how we could use PyCharm to help us solve this assignment problem. So, they give us some code here, or here's the code, print, and then they print out some calories. They want us to figure out the number of calories that are burned during a workout. And there are 4 parameters that we care about: age, weight, heart rate, and time. Notice that in zyBooks, this is zyBooks, so they give us, if we enter 4 values here, the first one for age, 49, a 155 for weight, heart rate of 148, and a time of 60, then they calculate the calories burned should be this, 736.21. Okay, cool. So how do we solve this lab? We could type all our code in here, and that's fine. That does work, but for more complicated labs, it's helpful to actually do this in an integrated dev environment but not limited to PyCharm. So let's actually do this in PyCharm. All right, so I've started PyCharm here, and I'm going to start a new project, and let's use a Python interpreter. Yep. And now if I was starting from scratch, I would pick my environment. I'd pick where I had set up stuff, maybe where I had installed Python before. In my case, I'm using Anaconda, which has a Python installation, and the tech support team at SNHU can help you get Python and PyCharm installed if you need help. Since I've already done this, though, I'm going to go ahead and use a previously configured interpreter, which is already here, and all the details are here, right? This is the one I'm going to use. As long as you're using Python version 3 point something, you should be fine. And let's go ahead and create this. Notice that I have checked create a main.py welcome script. Okay, let's just keep that checked and see what happens. So create this. It creates a project for me. Looks kind of like that. Let's go ahead and zoom in here a little bit. Make sure it fits in our window. All right. Now, when you check that option for the main file, it creates this. It has some code in here. We don't care about this stuff. I'm going to delete that. We're going to go ahead and delete that. In fact, we don't need any of this for this particular assignment. Instead, I want to use the code that they gave me. And they gave us this right here. I care about that. So I'm going to copy that in here somewhere. Okay, I'm going to definitely use that. I also want this. They gave us this. Okay. Now, as you will see here, this won't work. We have to change this to actual Python. Now, this is a variable called calories. I'm going to change it to lowercase. Let's change these variables to lowercase. The multiplication in Python is not an X, it's an asterisk. Okay, and let's go ahead and change that. Lowercase weight, multiplied using the asterisk, of course. Heart rate, let's change that to heart_rate, multiplied. Okay, and this weird character is changed that to a minus. It was some sort of M dash or N dash. Change it to minus. I just replaced it, that's all. And we have to change this X to a multiply as well. Change this to a lowercase t. Division should be okay. And that is our function, or that's our formula. Okay, let's go ahead and shrink this a little bit. There we go. Now, we need some variables here. We need age equals what? We're going to get input from the user. weight equals input from the user. Heart underscore rate is also input from the user. And time is also input from the user. However, we want to do math on these things, and they gave us some example values here. Let's copy that and use that as a guide. They gave us these values. So if those values, according to their test, yielded 736.21 calories, then if we enter those same values, we should get the same result. However, we need numbers. So if you look at what they entered here, they entered whole numbers, integers. So I'm going to convert my input to an integer. Okay, and I'll just call that, I'll do that for every one of these. Int. That takes the string, because the input will give you a string. We convert that string to an integer. That's what the int function does. All right. Now, we've created a variable called calories. We assign it to all this. The math is calculated. It'll give us a value, and then we print it out up to 2 decimal points of accuracy. So let's run this. We have some code. Let's go ahead and run. Let's see, where is it? Run, here we go, run. And I'm gonna use my main configuration. I see a little window down here, and it's waiting for input because I used the input function, so it's waiting for input. Let's go ahead and enter what they entered for age. Let's enter 155 for the weight. Heart rate is 148, and then the time will be 60. And the output, bam, look at that, we're good to go. Okay, so we could take all this and copy that into zyBooks and get the points for our assignment. I've copied it from PyCharm. I've pasted it into zyBooks for this particular lab. Let's click the submit mode, see what we get. Bam! 10 out of 10, 100%. Ta-da! So that is how you can solve this lab using PyCharm if you want to use PyCharm. The great thing about PyCharm is for longer projects, longer programs, it is easier to use this kind of environment, as you will see later, than it is to try to code something long, something lengthy in the zyBooks environment. All right, class, that is it from me. I hope this helped you. And if you have any questions, reach out to me in our class discussion forum and/or send me an email. Thank you for your support and have a great day.